Yeah, guys, I'm really excited to see how our teams do this weekend. We're sending half the team to the Mount San Antonio Relays in California, and then we're sending the rest of them to the Tom Jones Invitational in Gainesville. And so the competition is literally a mini national championships, and I'm really excited just to see how our kids are going to handle the pressure. And I think you're going to have a lot of pressure that we haven't seen so far this year, and it'll be fun to just see how we handle it.
Which groups are going to Mount Sac and which groups are going to Florida?
Mount Sac, we have our decks, our 2 male decks and our 2 female decks will start tomorrow. They're out there a little bit early, and then we've got pretty much all long jump, triple jump, high jump out there, along with some distance runners. That's going to be California. And then you've got nearly all the sprinters, hurdlers, and then you've got the pole vaulters and the throws pretty much going to Florida.
Never competed in Florida?
I've never been to Gainesville, never competed in Florida at all. I've been recruiting there before, but never have been to a meet. This is the first time, and looking forward to getting some good weather.
So what caused y'all to change your normal spring schedule and go there? How did you call them, or did they call you, or how did it come about?
We actually called them and asked them, could we get in? We saw, I felt like we run at home so much indoors, and I think it maybe helps us to get out a little bit more with our younger group. And I feel like that we've got so many new people that need to be put in the fire maybe a little bit earlier, and this just happened to be the best meet in the country this weekend. So I just thought it's a good, hopefully a good weather meet. It's right in the middle of April, right in the middle. We got them about a month from conference. It would put us in the fire a little bit earlier than that, and then see where we are.
We were talking to Terrence earlier. What events do you have in there?
He will run on the 4x1, and then he will run the 100 meters this weekend. And our plan is, if we get through with it good, that he will run the 4x1 at Baylor and then run the 200 there. So we're trying to run one this week, not overloading too much. I mean, this is enormous. I think you'll find the top 10 probably seeded people presently in the 100 meters all out there at this meet this weekend. So it's going to be fantastic.
So your sprint relay lineup would have Courtney, Jacoby, Terrence, and Ashton?
Yeah, this week, yeah.
Which order? What order?
Probably go with lead off. Actually, we've been leading off Terrence because he runs such a great curve, and he's got a great start. And then we've gone to Jacoby, and then Ashton, and then to Courtney. Yeah, that's what I think our plan is.
As you prepare for conference, you always have a plan. We've talked before about having a plan of getting them ready to peak at the right time, having them peak at conference and having them peak at nationals. Some of the runners haven't been able to get in the times and the work that you wanted them to do. Where are they in their preparation for conference and nationals?
This meet has kind of been on our radar. We wanted to go to Abilene, get their feet wet, and then go to Texas Relays, which is way too early. You're so tempted to do too much there, so we held back. And then we had a little home meet, which we had good weather. But we were a little bit, I wouldn't say beat up, but we'd run 2 hard meets in a row. We'd come off of indoors, and I felt like we needed a break. So most of the kids took off last week. And I feel this week is just a real true test of where we are. And this is planned because I wanted to have something really hard, and then it'll be medium next week, and then light at our meet, and then we'll rest up a week and have the conference. So I wanted to put us, before we hit that gauntlet of Big 12, regionals, and nationals, I wanted to have one big time that we kind of test and see where we are.
So who are some of the young athletes that you may not have been depending on? We've talked about it plenty of times. You win national championships with juniors and seniors, but who are the freshmen and sophomores that are making an impact in your eyes that could give you a little extra, even if it's 1 point or 2 points?
Yeah, on the men's side, you've got Oscar Edlin, who hasn't run anything yet, and he's a 400 hurdler. He ran 49.0 this summer in Kenya to win the world almost juniors. And so he's had a little sore hamstring. We've been real careful with him. He is a guy that could just be impactful to our team if he is right. And this is going to be, we're kind of throwing him in the fire, but it's just kind of, he's healthy now, and so it's just time to run. So he'll get this week Baylor and at home. He'll get 3 runs before we have the Big 12. He's one that I really am anxious to see. Terrence, of course, is sophomore, freshman indoors and sophomore out. I mean, I can't wait to see him run. I mean, we've been holding him back, being patient. So those 2 are really on the men's side. And then Rosemary in the 100 on the women's side. She's a sophomore. She ran 11-1, in junior college, and I think she's going to have a field that's going to really test her this week. So I think those are some good people. And there's all kind of kids. I'm anxious to see how we do as a team and how they all face this great competition together. It's going to be interesting.
What was your highlights last weekend?
Well, there weren't many, Don. We didn't take too many people. We took a few high jumpers to West Texas A&M, and we took a couple distance kids to West Texas A&M, but we rested almost everybody. I don't think anyone that competed last week is going anywhere this weekend. So we pretty much rested everybody. We really didn't get to show the nation anything last week. And this week, it really tests us. And I keep saying that, but it's enormous. When you put Florida and Florida State, and you put Ole Miss, and you put Georgia, and you put us, and you put TCU, and you put, the sprint group wise, Alabama, North Carolina, Clemson, they're all going to be there this weekend. A&M, and so it's going to be unbelievable. We're getting people in the East that we don't ever see much. LSU that go to the East that we won't have to run in our region, but we're going to run them this weekend. So it's going to be a great test.
What's the advantage of not seeing them until nationals? And you're traditionally running against the West region.
Yeah.
But what's the advantage of seeing those guys?
Oh, I think the great advantage is they're great in their event, and so I think we need to have more people in a heat, not just one, but 2 or 3 that are really going to test us. And I think that's what. And then you've seen them before. No matter what happens, you've seen them before, and if you beat them, well, then you've got a lot more confidence.
Where's the confidence of this team right now?
Well, I think the confidence is really good. Our kids have been looking forward to this meet. They know it's going to be tough, but they're looking forward to hooking up with the best in the country, and I think it's going to bring out the best in these kids. So, some of them will get their feelings hurt a little bit this weekend, but it won't be bad. It'll just be something that they realize, wow, I've still got some work to do.
It's the second week in a row that the women's pole vault has been ranked #1. What does that tell you just about the group that you all have?
I think it's really good. I think we've pushed each other up until now. We've been competing in practice at meets, and I think it's just been, the reason we are there is because we've pushed each other and helped each other out and to fix the little things and get ready for, conference. So
I asked Terrence, I'm going to ask you, where are you at where 1 is totally out and 100 is where you have to be for conference? Where are you at? Let's go from there.
honestly, I want to say I'm closer to the 100 spot just because I've been really consistent where I'm at. I'm kind of hitting over 14s now consistently, and I want to stay there and kind of, work at that because that's where I kind of need to be for regionals. I've hopefully already gotten my regional mark, so now it's just about staying consistent and doing that. So,
as you have already hit that regional mark, and how do you gain? What is the tweaks that you're having to do to gain that extra inch, 2, 3, to further take yourself?
it's really just the technique all on top for me, like the little, the turning and, getting consistent up top and being able to do that every single time. That's kind of where you kind of make those extra inches in those feet, even just making small movements that, getting out of the habits that I was in. And I've already seen kind of a glimpse of doing some good things, so I hope that I can keep that consistent and keep getting better. So
Chaz brought up the concept of the team coming together, and you guys are all achieving well. How easy is it for you, knowing that you've got someone behind you, that if for some reason things aren't going well, you've got teammates that are there to lift you up and be able to say, hey, look, I got this, you got this.
yes, yeah, I think that's huge. I mean, I already don't like being able to have to compete by myself, and so having the team there, we're always, there's never, of course we're always competing, but it's always a friendly competition, and we're all a team, and we all want each other to do well and to PR and to, fix those little things. So I think it's so huge to have them, you know, to be able to be in my ear if I'm feeling down or if it's the warm-ups aren't going great. So it's awesome to have that and to have a big girls team.
What's the one number that you want? You said you were talking about consistency, but there's that number that's in the back of your head that you've got circled that you want to hit.
Yes.
Before your last jump for Texas Tech, what's that number you want to hit?
I definitely want to get over the 14.6 range, kind of like high 14s. That 14.6 would be ideal right now, but it's always changing. The second I hit it, I'm going to want it something else. So, but I do want to get up in the high 14s because now I'm kind of hitting that consistent goal, and so, you know, it just keeps moving up. So, just got to stay consistent and keep grinding. So.
Which teammate pushes you the most?
Honestly, I would have to say all of them because we all are so different in our jumps. So like we're all good at different spots, so we all kind of push each other. So I honestly would say every single one of the girls is great because we're just all so different and we bring something to the team in little spots. So yeah.
When have you been to Florida?
Do what?
When have you been to Florida?
I've actually never been to Florida to
Never been to
compete.
Florida.
And so that's why I'm really excited about this meet because like Coach said earlier, like we have a lot of good competition coming. It kind of looks like a nationals, and so having that is going to push a lot of us, and I'm just excited to compete somewhere different and just kind of see how we do under pressure. So
Does it change when you're facing, when you know that you're facing the best of the best? I mean, you're doing your best, but when you're looking at somebody and they're hitting that high 14 number, how do you want to handle it personally?
So I guess like when I was younger, it was definitely harder competing against those, you know, top of the notch vaulters. But now I see it as like it pushes me, and I kind of enjoy being a little under pressure. And I think just with maturity and everything else, I think it's really helped to have those people because it just makes me want to be better and, you know, get to where they're at. So I honestly like it, and as much as it can be adversity, like I feel like I've been able to kind of fight through that, and so, you know, I think it's going to be really good.
What do you have to say about the coaching staff and how they've pushed you and prepared you for this moment?
They're great. I mean, they've always been, you know, even if I would have a bad meet or whatever it is, they were always there supporting me and cheering me on, even through the bad meets or the good. And I just feel the most support with this team that I've ever had. And yeah, it's been really great. Our coaching staff is amazing.
How's your hamstring been lately, Terrence?
It's been getting better and better every day.
What was that experience like for you when you got hurt after you had tied the NCAA record and then the season was interrupted?
It was just at that point it was just like a humbling experience. Let me know that anything can happen, and that I need to be prepared for it at any time, at any point in the season.
Now, I thought you were going to be out for the rest of the indoor season, but you went to NCAA indoor, and what happened there?
It was just something that I couldn't control. It was just one of those meets.
And how you felt like you've run so far in outdoor?
Well, so far so good.
How much are you anticipating running again?
It's a pretty good anticipation. I think I'm prepared to run again pretty soon.
As strong as you were at the end of outdoor season last year, what's kind of your expectations and goals for yourself this outdoor season this year?
Well, compared to last year, I feel like the growth that I've had is way better than it is. So compared to last year and this year, I feel like this year is going to be like a greater expectation on myself and for my coaches for me to perform.
What have you done to get better? Where have you experienced that growth?
I experienced that growth. It's basically like doing like the same workouts and then seeing myself improve on the times every week, every month, and then going from there.
Who is pushing you from your teammates, that giving you that little extra push for you to be better, and you're helping them drag them along, saying, "Hey, come on, if I can do it, you can too."
It's my family back home. I have 4 siblings. Like, I have 4 brothers and I have 3 sisters, so I'm doing it for them. They're my motivation.
When have you been to Florida?
I've been to Florida a few times. Actually, Florida was my first. That was the first state I went to when I came to the U.S.
Where are you at on a scale of 1 being totally out and 100 being totally where you need to be?
I'd say about 95. I still have a little tweaks and I feel a little rusty knock off in practice, but I'm there.
How has the coaching staff helped you, or training staff help you get you prepared for hitting the numbers that you need to hit for nationals?
The coaching staff has been there. They've been with me from day one to now. They've been there foot to foot. They've been make sure I'm right mentally, make sure I'm right physically, all that good stuff.
And the training staff?
Training staff is the same thing.
So one thing about you, TJ, is that you're a huge anime fan. What first draw you into that, and then which one is your favorite one that you like to follow?
The first one was it's a really old one. It's Inuyasha, and as of right now, my favorite one is definitely One Piece. I just recently caught up to it.
Is there anything that first caught your eye about anime? Like, how did you first started watching it?
It was like a different form of art style like that you're not used to. It's a totally different from like your regular cartoon. So that's what really drew me into it.
So if you weren't a runner, would you like to draw?
Oh yeah, definitely.
As you get ready for this meet, what's the goal for this meet? Is there a number that you're trying to achieve, or you just want to run safe and get yourself warmed up?
Yeah, I mean, as of right now, given that this is my first collegiate 100 meters, I don't really have any time expectations. I just want to finish that race healthy, and then see what I need to work on, see what I'm good at, see what I'm bad at, and then go from there.
Is it little things that you're working on, or is it just tweaks of placement or starting differently?
Yeah, it's just a few tweaks. Like I said, just knocking some rest off.